Hello, guten Abend.
Guten Abend.
Eurovoxx here. My name is Dominic, and I'm joined by Jana, Stu, and Tron. How are you guys?
Hello.
Very
Doing
well, thank you.
Awesome.
All at once.
We have just seen UNSER Lied für Liverpool, and we've got a winner. So, Jana, you're always the one announcing the winner. So,
no.
Yes.
No, I'm really excited. Oh my God. I think we finally had to take some risks. So I'm super excited that we are sending Lord of the Lost this time with a rock song. I know I already said it last time. We have so many boy groups, man bands, whatever you want to call it. But I think they are a great addition to the group because they are standing out still. It's kind of metal. I also like they have so much energy on stage. So I think they can really stand out, even though we have so many groups already. I think they're a great choice.
Yeah, Tran, what's your first reaction to the winner? Please be honest. Be honest.
That was basically my first reaction. It's not a song I particularly really like. I will appreciate the fact that it's something totally different from what Germany usually sends. And I can see that the performance is very, very good and the vocals are very, very good as well. But the song is just not really my type of song that I usually like. But I really appreciate the fact that something new, well, we don't have a lot of songs like this in Eurovision at all. Like, I don't think we've had a song like this in years. So I appreciate that Germany is the one that brings that this year. And I think it can do quite well for Germany, actually, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah, so Germany is always known for being safe, and I wouldn't consider this as a safe song. Stu, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest advantage that Lord of the Lost would have going into Eurovision this year. I mean, it has already been mentioned a few times that there are a lot of bands this year. I think it's also kind of an important thing to underline that, you know, maybe not all bands are the same and not all bands with songs would be that confused with one another, because one thing that this band is bringing that we don't have really from any other band is a kind of like throwback to the days of Alice Cooper, a bit of like Marilyn Manson with the androgynous looks and all that, and then also having like a really metal sound. And I think the closest thing that you could compare it to would be Let Free from Croatia, which obviously is only in a kind of superficial way. Obviously, they've got their own thing going on. They've got a whole political commentary to what they're doing. So yeah, I mean, as far as like what was available tonight, I think that this was among one of the best choices. Not personally for me, but I am, you know, happy like others have said that it is something that doesn't feel safe. And it does seem like this could have potential when it comes to getting Germany out of that bottom five, because we know that they've kind of set up camp there for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, Germany made it very cozy in here. So, yeah, I was about to say, be very careful for your words when you compare it to Croatia. No offense, but I think that's better than Croatia, for sure. Hello, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Hello, Timo Isiban. Yes, I think you like the song and you're actually saying it. Yes, something right. Finally for you.
Barely happens.
Hello, A.M. Rifki. Hi, everyone. I'm thankful that it's not Ike. Me too. We will come to that later, don't worry. Ike in Danish and Norwegian is a negative word similar to English, not in German, nicht. Yeah, it's actually like a Berlin version for ich, which means I. It's very, yeah. We will come to that later. Anyone else? Hello, Arienio. Thanks to the German people for making the right choice. Yes, the German people did it, not the jury. We will come to that later on as well. Hello, Vincent. Hello, guys. How are Jana and Dominic feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty okay. Thank you for asking. Hello, DJ Star. You're from Norway. Nice to see you. Patty Gurdy was best tonight, and she needs most points to win now. Well, she came last, I think, so that didn't work out at all. Hello, Mark. You're saying you see comparisons to Lordi. I can see that in terms of the genre, probably, but the look is very different, isn't it? So I wouldn't consider that as a comparison. So, hi, Mark. You're thinking that Germany has maybe a chance to win, or what does the W mean? I don't know. I don't see it as a contender to win. Do you expect it to do very well, or what's your first thought about prediction for Eurovision. Keep in mind that Germany is a Big Five country, so there's no need to struggle in the semi-final, as always, as we would usually do. If there was a semi-final for us, you know?
I think even if Germany had been in the semi-finals this year, I think it would have been a safe qualifier because it's a very televote-friendly song.
Yes.
I think it will do quite well at the I think it will do quite well at the televote, but I'm not sure how well it will fare with the juries, like we've seen today. They were not among one of the jury favorites. So I think it can make the top 15, maybe even top 10, but that will depend on some other entries.
I would take that, Stu. What do you think?
Well, Twan mentioned an interesting point, which was very clear in the voting, like how we saw it unfold. At the end of the jury voting, 3 ballots on top. At the end of the televote voting, more or less the 3 like non-televote songs had come up. I don't know where Will Church actually finished in the end. I know that his televote score was really low, but
21.
Say again?
They were so a lot of the lots were 5th in the jury.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty average, I would say. They only got 43 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So more than double.
Yeah, so it's just interesting that it unfolds that way because it does really show a big discrepancy in how the juries feel about things versus how the televote feels about things. And I think that there was I don't necessarily want to call it a failure, but, you know, there was a big risk of the jury feeling extremely one way, the televote feeling extremely another way, and then ending up with like 4th in both, which could have been, you know, like sending another safe song again. In this case, like I think that the televote really came through for both Lord of the Lost and for Ike. But yeah, I mean, as far as how that can translate for Eurovision, I do think that this is probably the best possible choice to get Germany out of that bottom 5. I'm still a bit reluctant to say that it would go a lot further than that, just because it's a bit more. I don't think that this would be the kind of rock song that would really reach a lot of people unless they were to really bring it up with the live performance, like really put on a show, something that is like unavoidable and you know, like really even engaging from a performance point of view, which, you know, maybe when they have a large enough audience, they'd be able to do that. But yeah, I'm not quite so sure. And at this point, I would put them somewhere like upper right-hand side. But, you know, obviously there'll be a lot more to find out.
Yeah, maybe we can go to this comment because Neil Era is saying that the jury voting is a bit worrying for him, her, they, I don't know. And because it has already been seen in this selection, so the televote was very, very high. And then on the other hand, the jury was extremely low, or at least lower than I was expecting. And maybe we will see that same result in the final, because in the final we've got 50% jury here as well. So do you also expect, Jana and Twan, do you also expect a lower jury voting for this performance?
I am personally more worried about Australia because I find them quite similar. I know the song is not similar, but they both have great stage presence and can pull off a show. So they are quite similar in that case. So I'm not sure if they stand in the way against each other, you know. So I don't really know. About the juries, I think they will definitely be higher in the televote. Juries will tank them a little bit, I think, but we will see. Can't tell yet.
Yeah, I agree with Jana. In the case that Australia does qualify, I think the potential of them cancelling each other out is there. And I definitely think that they will be higher in televote than in jury.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would cancel each other out. I think that there are styles that appeal to different people. I take what you're saying, Jana, about stage presence. Personally, I think that Australia has that quite a bit. Like they're a bit better in that regard. But I don't know, maybe that would be where the jury really kind of makes the difference, because I could see them doing equally well. And, you know, we have to remember 2021, where a lot of people put, myself included, they put Italy against Finland, and they both ended up doing pretty well with the televote. And there was a bit more of a difference with the jury. But yeah, like, especially now that there's going to be so many rock entries, I think that only one will really come up above the rest. But I think that the points will still be split enough in a way that whoever, like if you're a rock fan, you'll be able to find the rock that you like, not just the rock that's there because it's rock, you know? So yes. I see a lot of potential for a lot of people to do well, but maybe not, like, again, maybe it's just going to be that one that really shines above the rest.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that rock is so diverse. It's not like you have a rock song, so everyone is a fan of your song. That's definitely not what's going to happen. I must say, though, I don't see the threat of Australia. Personally, I'm not the fan of Australia, and I don't see them qualify, to be fair. And if they don't qualify, there's no competition, you know? So that's my prediction for this. And coming back to Andy, he's saying like he's hoping for a higher result, which is not that difficult considering the last place from last year. And they were actually making a lot of fun out of it throughout the whole time. And you don't understand German, but Barbara was smashing it again.
You're so funny tonight.
Barbara Schöneberger. And for the viewers, she's always the one announcing the votes, so you can kind of see her humor, and she did that throughout the whole show without any regrets on being embarrassing sometimes. But I like that.
Let's put it this way: if Germany ends last this year, something's wrong. I think personally.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know. I think if other countries deliver, then like I don't see it. It's not like last year where really the overall feeling was just that the song was not exciting enough. I think that this is definitely different, but like you never know if let's say that we do get the best 20 songs from the semifinals, then I don't know, because I don't think that this is much better than the other big five, right? Because I think we have all but the UK so far. We have France, Germany. We have France, Spain, and Italy. And I wouldn't consider this to be better than either of them. Perhaps France might fall a little bit short, but yeah.
It's very different, I must say. So we have, and if we consider Ukraine as well, because they're already in the final, if you compare all these 5 songs, they are so different. You can't really compare any of these songs altogether, which I love. Doesn't mean that I like the songs. I don't like all of them. I like some of them I don't. But I'm just happy that we already have diversity, no matter what the semifinal is bringing us. Because I think, or at least that's my regret, that it might be a bit more of the same genre based on the 100% televote now. So I can see a lot of ballads falling short. And we've got, like with Italy, already a ballad in. And yeah, I think that's a good thing that Big Five is making sure we've got some diversity. Twan, you want to add something?
Well, yeah, I see Stuart's point on that. If actually the best 20 songs from the semi make it out, Germany could potentially end last, but I don't see that happening as of at the moment. So I think Germany is fairly safe to say that Germany will not end last.
Yeah, Harry. Hi. He's not a massive fan of Blood and Gladiator as a song, but it was the best chance for Germany not coming last. And I mean, we already got the objective here, not coming last. Mark,
reach for the stars.
Mark is saying the same. Best choice. You
gotta start somewhere.
Or a contender to win? No, we were talking about a top 5-15 finish here.
It will be great, though. I can see that coming.
Yeah, I would take it. Like. No regrets here. Harry is also saying, thank God we have another boy band, because we like
that's what I keep saying, yeah.
I find it so interesting that people call every band with men or boys, however you want to call it, they say boy band. Whereas to me, boy bands are Backstreet Boys, New Kids on the Block, One Direction, BTS, all that. Like where they're like a pop music product, you know? That to me defines a boy band, not just a band of boys.
We had this discussion with MGP. What is a boy band? And I'm having a flashback. It's very hard to
I wouldn't really call this a boy band.
But in theory, like, is it like Backstreet Boys? Obviously not. So yeah.
But how would you call it? Like a group of men?
I would just call it a band. I would just call it a band.
Fair.
Yeah. I guess what does tend to happen is if it's like, let's say, a group of women who are performing rock music or something that's really heavy, then because of our classic ideas of what rock music is, then they'd be like, oh yeah, this is a girl band. So I suppose that maybe there is a double standard there, but you won't get that from us.
maybe it's the difference between a boy band and a boy group.
probably as well.
Is agreeing with you, Stu, saying that they really need to bring it for the live performance. I must say, though, I think they were probably the strongest ones out of the 8 competing acts,
Yes.
vocally, because I felt that there were some struggles there, here and there. Maybe one to mention is Paddy. Hey, Elipan, nice to see you. He's saying that she was very nervous and struggling, and I agree. She was very shaky, and I felt sorry for her because the song was okay, but not the performance.
Really sad about that because it was my absolute favorite going into the songs. I listened to that song a lot and I love it a lot, but I was really disappointed with the live performance, sadly.
Yeah. Elipan wants Barbara for 24.
Yay.
I checked it.
You can actually sing. The medley was amazing in the end. I loved that.
Yeah, and I think she's a professional singer, or at least I think she gave some concerts. So I knew that she's able to do that. Hello, Joseph. You're from Aschaffenburg. Hey, wie geht's? Great choice, Germany. I love it. It will be getting a lot of points, especially from Finland. Yes. They were giving them 12 points from the jury, which was an exception for them. But it was pretty funny because it was exactly what you expect from Finland. And I also like the fact that the member from Blanchino was like, okay, can we just get this over with? He was like, here we go. Lovely.
Like a real rock star.
Like a real rock star. Yeah. Hello, Lee. Good evening to you. What a fantastic national final. I can simply say Germany will not be last or even bottom 10 this year. Bravo. That would be nice. I must say about the show overall, it had a lot of diversity, and I like that they took risks in terms of the staging, but the delivery was sometimes not the best, I would say. So again, vocally, but also sometimes the stage was just messy. At least it wasn't empty, but at some point it was too full. You weren't even able to see them. Let's refer to Lonely Spring. I liked the song, Misfit was the song, but the stage was full of puppets. And then some camera angles, you weren't able to see anything because it was too foggy and there were too many puppets or mannequins or whatever that was on stage. It was so distracting. Had you have the same feeling, or is it just me?
I would agree. I think from a production point of view, I think they were a bit overambitious with what they wanted to execute. Because there were ideas there. Like I really liked is it Anissa or Anica?
Anitza.
Anitza. I really liked in her performance how they kind of put her in a field, and with certain angles, it felt really immersive. And I was like, wow, this is really, I'm like really drawn into this. But I feel like with every performance, the camera work kind of fell apart at one point or another. And then just in terms of like concepts, René, in my opinion, had one of the most memorable choruses. Like it's just one that really stuck out in my head. But from a presentation point of view, he was stuck up there on that rock and he couldn't do anything else. So for the entire 3 minutes of the song, like, there's no development. There was a change in lighting, but that's not interesting enough for the television viewer. And for that reason, I'm not that surprised that all of the ballads did so poorly, because there was no entertainment value to a lot of them. There was an attempt, which is it's like not a great compliment, but yeah, we tried. But yeah.
Saying that, so okay.
but yeah, I think it's, again, like we've seen with the German selection that it's not always as well equipped from a technical point of view, and it's a shame because we see in other countries that don't have the budgets that NRD has, that they're able to pull it off in ways that are a bit more Eurovision ready, like in the Baltics. I think that they do a great job on all of those shows presenting their songs. Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of priorities. Like I think they just, for next year, if they're going to choose these kinds of songs, then they're really going to need to make sure that that's a well integrated aspect of constructing the performances.
Yeah, completely agree.
I think also part of this is in the rehearsals, because I saw that the camera work really wasn't on point, and if there had been more like rehearsals or stand-in rehearsals or whatever, I think the camera work could have been much more improved, which would have been much better for a lot of the performances.
Yeah, I think the camera angles were my biggest issue tonight, especially with Anica, as Stuart already said. Like, it was perfect in the beginning. The close-ups, I really liked it. It really felt intimate, emotional. And then suddenly they zoomed out into the audience. Like, why? They were just sitting there and not doing anything. That like stole the whole atmosphere. I still don't get it why they did that. And then for René, as Stuart also said, I was almost mad because this was my winner. I love this song so much. He has a great voice. He kind of delivered, but what was this staging? Why was that rock? He was standing, sitting on the rock the whole time. I personally needed a dancer or something, maybe a woman that would dance with him together, kind of, or the movements at least.
It's like the
And then
music
some
video,
guard in the back.
well.
Hmm?
The music video was the same. There was interpreted.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yes.
So, yes, yeah.
Yes, and then suddenly there was only a rock. Like same with Patty
big
in
rock.
the music video, or with Will in the music videos. They had a forest. It was alive, you know. And then on stage, nothing. Like that kind of pissed me off a bit.
I really agree.
Jury, apparently.
Renee Miller's staging really reminded me of Yulia Samoilova staging from 2018 with the rock
not
and
sure if that's
everything.
good,
And him
though.
on it.
Legendary, I won't break.
What could have made that staging a lot better if he had gotten off that rock like halfway through or something, or gotten on the rock like halfway through the song for just
Maybe
the
just
last
get rid of
chorus.
the rock. I don't get it. It was like, I'm pretty sure I know how that went off. So in the beginning, it was like, oh, just imagine we're on a big rock and we were standing there and it looks so good. And then they never thought about the rest because like the first moment was cool, okay. And then after a while you got tired and then nothing happened. The song is good, I think, but not memorable enough to just pull it off without any staging.
Yeah.
And then it kind of felt, I don't know, forgettable, especially he was in the second running order spot. That didn't really help him as well. He only got 8 points from the televote. Let's compare it to the winner because someone was asking for the winner. So the winner is Lord of the Lust with Blood and Glitter. The winner got 146 televotes and René Miller got 8, just to compare it. So that's a very shame.
It is a shame. He deserved so much better because the song has potential. Just the live didn't work out.
Yeah, especially because it got me like Ed Sheeran vibes immediately.
Yeah.
And that's something we haven't seen that many times.
That's what Florian said.
Yeah, that many times in Eurovision so far. So, because we need to mention it, because he was the winner of the jury votes. Well, Judge, what's your opinion of his song? Greetings and love from Serbia.
Serbia.
So excited for tomorrow, by the way. You got some very good songs. So, I was expecting him to do very well with the jury, I must say. So it was exactly how I predicted it. He was not even flopping because we had 8 points. He got 21 from the televote, but still very low. But I wasn't expecting him to do that great for the jury because he was by far the winner with 90 points. And in the at some point, I was thinking like maybe he can actually do it. And even though he was okay, he was good. It would have been the same pattern as we have seen for Germany so many times, being forgettable or maybe like too safe. And I think that was the first immediate thought I had when I heard the song. Stu, what do you think about the song?
You know, I don't know if there's that much to add based on what you said, because I felt the exact same way. I don't dislike it, but it did lack that memorability, that kind of extra flavor that maybe, I don't know much about him as a performer or like how long he's been doing this, but you know, somebody with a few more years, they might have been able to take that up, and you know, like if they have that full stage presence, or even just you know the kind of artistry to know when you're on stage, like what elements you could use to help you with that. And I mean, I've already kind of talked about how all the ballads really suffered from not having the entertainment value to back it up visually. And yeah, I think that applied here as well. The song itself, yeah, I mean, it was pleasant, but it didn't really do that much for me. And I wasn't expecting this to be the winner in the end because of those other songs just being more entertaining. But you know, I think it's a worthy acknowledgement of the quality of the song, because I think like as a singer-songwriter experience, it's enjoyable. And if I was, let's say, at like a small cafe or a bar listening to this, then I would be really in the moment with him. But yeah, for television, it fell a little bit flat.
agree here. So Liban is saying he didn't take me to
I love the comments.
Yeah. So I think Eddie, there must be a mentioning here. So we had someone called Ike. He got second in the televote. He was last with the jury. Thank you, jury. He got 2 times 2 points, and then all the rest 1 point. So it's probably the least amount of jury someone has ever gotten. So without any context, because Jana and myself, we know him. Tran, do you know him?
Yeah, I've heard stuff about him.
Dude,
Yeah.
what do you think? What kind of music is Ike Hufgott playing, or what do you think about him in general? Just before we reveal it.
Like as an artist, or specific to this song? Because I know what was going on in this song.
Okay, then whatever you want.
Well, I mean, like you know, it's kind of stupid party music. Like, I don't know. This to me is like Schlager parody, is how I would describe it. Because it's you know, it's dumb, but it's supposed to be dumb. It's not like unaware. It's very self-aware and you know, poking fun at all these ideas of what music is supposed to be. But yeah, you know, doing it in a pretty crass way. So I can't blame people for not wanting this to go. But at the same time, like the televote score, I was actually kind of expecting this to win the televote. I'm glad that it didn't, obviously. But yeah, because this was entertaining, and a lot of the other ones weren't.
Yeah, so in Germany we call this Ballermann music because there's like an island called Mallorca. It's in Spain, but Germans claim this island as German territory.
The 7th state, you know.
I've been, and I was so surprised at how many Germans there were, and like how you would go to public places and you would get Spanish, Catalan, which is Mallorquín there, English and German as like the text.
There's one part of the island called Ballermann, and that's where all the clubs are, and they play Ballermann music, which is what Ike does. So there are artists like him on stage singing about stupid songs about getting drunk, and people love it because they are drunk. So that's kind of
what's going on. It's so dumb. It's not this one. I don't want to make anything about, or any claims, any accusations towards him. But this genre is being known for being very sexist, because we had a lot of songs in the charts right now, and like not just something like top 10 are usually bombed with these kind of songs, and a lot of them are very sexist and just dumb, and sometimes even just offensive. Like, let's be real, it's so dumb that it's offensive. And I mean, Ike was kind of okay in terms of he knew it was dumb. Some of them think they are so classy and so cool and so out of the box, even though they're dumb. That's even worse, you know? So I'm happy he's self-aware. He called himself asozial, and I think that's exactly what it is. So good for him. However, I want to show one of the comments. Eurovoxx saying he was your favorite. Good for you. Could be top 5 with the televoters at Eurovision. Disagree here, obviously.
In 2006, yes. Not in 2020, whatever we are now.
Emphasis on could.
It could.
I was going to say emphasis on could.
Yeah, every song could be top 5 at televote.
Exactly.
I mean,
yeah. If all the other contestants die suddenly, then sure.
That's harsh.
Shady. Okay. No. It kind of reminds me of the 2006 to 8 period, where a lot of
you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Dustin in the Turkey for some reason.
I was just about to mention this, or maybe the French one with the golf car.
Oh my God, no! Don't mention it.
Listen, that is a great song.
No, I hate it so much.
It is not a great song.
It is a great song. I will. That will be the hill that I die on.
That's okay. I always, when I try to find funny songs, I always play this to others who are not familiar with Eurovision. So at least they managed that. Okay, so we have to talk about one more thing, because we were supposed to have 9 acts, but unfortunately we only got at 8. So Frida Gold was sick, and they weren't able to perform this song. What was the title again? It was something about woman, something about Frauen.
Alle Frauen sind in mir sind müde.
Yeah, it was the only German song except for Ike. And I mean, too bad she was sick and she weren't able to perform. And would you have liked the song? Would you have seen it as a contender to win, or would it have been just a filler song?
What I found weird in the first place is that they showed the rehearsal in the jury show, but didn't show the rehearsal today. I don't know. I guess they did it in case she would be better to perform live today.
Probably.
But it's nonetheless, whether you like the song or not, it's still very sad that she was ill and not able to perform and not able to participate. However, I don't think it would have been in contender to win, just because it could be quite forgettable. She does have a great voice, though, and I think the jury could like it quite a lot. But no, I don't think it would have been a contender to win.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's in German. That's a plus point. So, but I agree with Tron. I don't think it would be a contender. I mean, for Germans, it's a bit strange. Like for me, at least, I don't really like the lyrics, even though the meaning is important. But I have to say, I'm a bit biased because I'm not the biggest fan of the band. Like, I don't really like the music. But anyway, also, I try to be objective, and I don't really think they would have been a contender.
Well, I think based on how things went with the other ballads, I think it probably would have just been the same thing. Like she probably would have been second, third, fourth up there, and then with the jury, and then tanked with the televote. Because again, like the presentation wasn't there. When I heard the songs, that was one that I enjoyed, and Jana, you kind of explained that. Is it that you think that from an aesthetic point of view the lyrics don't work, or is it the meaning? What is it for you that doesn't work for you?
It's more the aesthetics. I mean, the meaning is important, I think. So it's just weird for me to have it in German, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess that's not something that I can relate to on a personal level. But I also really liked the music video. I liked the imagery that we saw there with the women with arrows in their backs. It was pretty evocative, and it's the kind of artistic sensibility that like intrigues me. I don't know if I would have liked it the most when seeing all the performances, but nonetheless, what happened, and it's too bad. Maybe another year with a different song will be another opportunity for her.
Yeah, so everyone is saying that it's a real shame because it was the favorite for him and it was quite touching. I must say, the song didn't really do something for me. I appreciate the message, but personally for me, a message by itself, it's not enough. It really needs a combination. Yeah. If the song is good, then the message is always a good plus, and in addition to the song. But just the message itself is not enough. I must say, I like the band. I like a few songs of them, and I think they were the most famous ones, except for Ike, because they were like, okay, I just checked the names, and these were the only two acts I was familiar with. The other ones were pretty new, I think. So yeah, I'm a bit sad because no one should be out of the competition because of that. But maybe they weren't really feeling it anymore because, as Trana said, they could have used the rehearsals. And I mean, they are going to do that at Eurovision as well. If someone gets sick, they use a pre-recorded version and then you still participate. So I'm not sure what was going on here, but anyway. So maybe, is there anything you want to mention about the show? Because except for Barbara,
well, I loved the medley.
Yes.
I thought that was really, really well done.
It really gave me Eurovision movie vibes, like, the Eurovision Fire Saga.
You mean this one?
Yeah. No, it was really cool.
Hey, well, Ike came out with Dancing Lascia Tumbai, which I think was the most appropriate choice based on who he is. And
I knew it because he didn't have to sing in English then. So.
Yeah, exactly. I also really liked Lord of the Lost's version of Satellite, how it was really like low key. Cool. I would want to hear a full version of that. They should definitely record it.
And Anica was really good as well, I think.
Yeah,
I think Barbara was very, very good as well. As a host. I think she's a very natural host.
Oh, I love her as a host, yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she's not preparing anything. I think
no, she's
at least I have a feeling that everything's spontaneous. She comes on the stage like 5 minutes before. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Okay, I'm going to do it.
Yes, exactly.
That's my impression.
She's iconic. She's
professional. Don't get me wrong. She's really, really pro. But on the other hand, she's making it so easygoing. Like she's just a friend or just an aunt, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really
No, I
like
think my favorite part of tonight was like the grass part. Dominic and Tron, I think you understood as well.
Yeah, I did.
So
It was
the
very
grass,
funny.
she had, because of Anita's performance, she took it with her and told Florian. Florian is very popular in Germany, very famous. He's also a singer, but another genre. And he told him, yeah, we have to smoke the grass later. And she
He was-
mentioned it like 3
He was
times.
making like
So-
6 or 7 references to drugs. And
Yeah.
I don't know what to think about it. It's a bit strange.
Oh my God. Also, in the end, the voting, when the group, I forgot his first name,
Yes,
when he was
yes,
like,
Violet.
making her
Violet.
fingers.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he was like, okay, let's move on. She was like, no, we don't have to.
And that was amazing. She's so good. Oh, maybe one more thing. She was putting a hat on one member of the audience, and then she was pulling it up like this, and then she was saying, "Pull it up right here." Then it's covering the double chin. That's hilarious. I
She's
mean,
great, man. Like Germany, if Germany was a serious contender, then we could have her as a host. You know?
yes, please.
I would honestly, I would
Barbara
absolutely
together,
love that.
just imagine.
No, just Barbara by herself hosting Eurovision.
Yes,
I would
only her.
love that.
Ah,
But
I
then
know,
again, I would think that Eurovision would require like an entire script, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Yeah,
how well Barbara would do with that entire script. But
I also want to mention Ilsa, who was there. I guess they were kind of serving as a panel, giving feedback.
Yeah, so there were Florian Silbereisen, then Ilse de Lange. She was participating for the Netherlands in 2014. She came second. And also Riccardo Simonetti. It's very hard to say
Oh,
what
Ricardo. He's
literally
very
there,
famous in Germany.
what he's doing.
Ricardo, he's an influencer. but
He's an influencer, okay. But Ilse was an interval act, and she was also like a commentator, so to say. She was commenting on the performances right afterwards. So, Stu, what do you think about her performance?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I didn't see much of the performance because I had to, prepare other things. But I just always like. I really like her as an artist and as a person, and I guess I'm just always happy to see her when she's involved with Eurovision things, because I know obviously she played a big role in Duncan being chosen, and like she was essentially his mentor. So yeah, it makes me smile to see her. That's all I had to say. It's not much of value.
True. Okay, so before we wrap this up, maybe one more thing. So we have discussed the winner already, Lord of the Lost, Blood and Glitter. Would you change anything for Liverpool? And if so, what would you change?
More fireworks.
I would just make the staging bigger and more like kind of explosive with the fire, and maybe the camera angles, but obviously they will be changed because it's a different arena, different stage and everything. So I think that's I love the outfits. I really love the outfits. So I think they should keep those.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel more or less the same, because, when it comes to a band that's trying to be a band on stage, you don't really need to overcomplicate it. And I think that the idea and approach that they have from like an aesthetic point of view, the colors, the costumes, the overall technical approach to it, I think is pretty straightforward. So yeah, it's really just to make it bigger to accommodate the bigger stage and all the technology that will be available to them. I suppose that if there's one thing that could change, I wouldn't mind if this song got revamped a bit just to make it a bit punchier, but I don't think it needs it. So it's not like, it wouldn't be like a big ask from me. And honestly, sorry?
I would love a key change about changing the song. I would love a key change.
Do not do that, please.
I knew you'd say that.
Of course. Yeah, that's all for me.
Okay, so Markus Schneider is saying hello. Lot of Lost will do great on Eurovision stage, so you have high hope. Carl, hey, saying it needs to add more.
I usually say that about every single song.
With this one, because you don't want
Not
blue
here.
glitter in a song. Believe me, you don't.
Not here, no. It doesn't really fit, in my opinion.
So Lee is saying the outfits are great because they will definitely be something to remember on, but that staging should be more dramatic. I must say, I think we have already mentioned it, the staging was very, very, very small. And I think even though Liverpool is still considered as a small stage, I think they have so much more potential, so much so many more opportunities to do more than they did here. Yeah, anything else you want to mention? Because otherwise I would wrap it up. And I would like to thank Diana, Twan, and Stu for this live stream. I really enjoyed it. It was such a good time. And yeah, see you again very soon. If you like this video, you can give us a like and subscribe. And see us again very soon. Bye.
Bye bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.